Hi, my name is Jennifer Franchak, and I'm a functional nutritionist. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story because if you've ever dealt with chronic digestive issues or brain fog or just feeling like your body is working against you, I've been there too. My journey with health has been anything but smooth over the years, and it started when I was a kid. So when I was a child, I struggled with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and I'll never forget all the times when I was either in the car driving somewhere with my parents, or I'd be out hiking with my dad because we did a lot of hiking when I was a kid, and my stomach would just start churning. And if that's ever happened to you, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the worst. It's the worst feeling. And I need to immediately find a bathroom. And it was so embarrassing and stressful, especially because no other kids that I knew had this problem. Back then in the 80s, my doctor just casually told my mom it's probably IBS, and that was it. There were no real recommendations, there were no solutions. So I just lived with it. And it felt like a constant battle of discomfort and anxiety. So my breaking point was when I started experiencing intense brain fog. And this was when I was in my 20s. I had my first job. I was going through a lot in my personal life. My mom was sick with cancer, so there was a lot of stress. And I felt really disconnected all the time. It was kind of like walking through life in a haze. And it made focusing at work and just in general so difficult. So I finally saw a gastroenterologist because I was still having my digestive issues too. And he diagnosed me with diverticulitis, which are small pouches in your intestine that can get infected and cause pain. But that was it. There were really no answers for my other symptoms. There was, no explanation of the brain fog or why I was having the stomach pain that I was having. And by the way, interestingly enough, years later, I had an endoscopy and a colonoscopy. So not fun. And a gastroenterologist told me that I never had diverticulitis and that everything looked okay. So that left me feeling really, really confused. Everything changed when I became a mom. Having kids made me feel really motivated to get my health under control. And that wasn't just for me, but for them too. Because kids are such a big motivating factor, right? So also autoimmune disease runs in my family. And I really didn't want to live in fear of it affecting me or my kids. And that's when I realized that I really needed to make some serious changes. I needed to get serious. By the time I was a teenager, things started shifting, my hormones kicked in, and my IBS symptoms turned into constipation. And on top of that, I had terrible period pain. I was having bad acne, acid reflux, I had fatigue, and I was struggling with my weight. And my confidence was already low, so these issues definitely didn't help. But again, my doctor really didn't express any concern, so I always just thought, this is my life, this is how it is. And I just kept throwing more and more, medicine and things like that at it. And it never occurred to me that there could be something deeper that could be causing all of these symptoms. As I became an adult, I had pretty much accepted the symptoms. Again, I had constipation, there was brain fog, acid reflux, and they were my norm. So that I could not only try to prevent autoimmune disease from happening, but to also finally understand what has been causing my lifelong symptoms. And that's when I really got into learning about nutrition and wellness and how food can either heal our bodies or create an environment for disease. And I was blown away. I had always thought that food was just calories in, calories out, calorie restriction, which I did a lot of when I was younger. But now I saw it as something that could literally change the way our bodies function and even how our DNA is expressed, which just blows my mind. And so I started experimenting with my own diet, and I tried raw veganism. I tried regular veganism. I was a vegetarian for a while. You name it. I did paleo. I did, keto. But none of these worked for me for the long term. None of those formulas were perfect for me. And finally, after doing a lot of reading and watching documentaries and dragging my feet, I decided to try removing gluten, soy, corn, and dairy from my diet. And everything started to change. my brain fog lifted, my acne started clearing up, I had energy, I lost weight, and my constipation disappeared, which was unbelievable. Now, I just want to say this was not like an overnight miracle. It took a lot of time and a lot of tweaking and making adjustments and figuring out what worked for my body. And that's when I really made this connection that it was the gut health was the missing piece all along. So everything that I had been dealing with for all of those years, from the IBS to the brain fog, was linked to my gut. And at that point, I kind of became obsessed with learning more about gut health and holistic health. And I wanted to find everything out that I could. So I decided to go back to school and I studied nutrition and holistic health. And I realized that what worked for me isn't necessarily going to work for everybody else. And this is because everybody's body is so unique, and healing really needs to be personalized. So I've been able to use over the years what I've learned to not only improve my own health, but to start helping my clients and seeing their transformations from feeling really, really unwell and experiencing a lot of flare-ups when they first come to me, which makes it difficult for them to actually enjoy their lives, to having more energy and seeing the symptoms start to disappear. It really brings me a lot of joy, just that change and their excitement when they see that, hey, it's working, I'm feeling really good. My goal is to prevent autoimmune disease from becoming my story and my kids' story, but I'm also here to help others do the same. So if you're dealing with a chronic condition like autoimmune disease or IBS, or even if you're just feeling off, I just want you to know that there is hope. You don't have to live like this forever. It does take time. It takes some experimenting, but it's possible to start feeling better. This is not a lifelong sentence. There are a lot of things that you can do. So if you're ready to start your healing journey, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, and also hit the like button and make sure to watch my next video.